if it revs different based on eco mode or not. It does feel a little different. Alright, so driving impressions. The car rides really nice. It's a smooth riding vehicle. And now the first thing I have to admit that I was driving it at first and it was in eco mode, so I was like, this thing's kind of lacking power wise. You know, you put your foot on the gas and it takes a little while to pick up. I was like, and again, at that time, I didn't even realize at first that it was turbo. So it's not like I'm thinking, oh, is this turbo lag? But what it was, I was actually driving it in eco mode, of course. So once you turn the eco mode off, it's about, you know, it's a little peppy. It's a little more peppy than at first, of course, I thought, because it was in eco mode. You know, it's 4-cylinder. The turbo, well, I guess I have to say the turbo doesn't exactly feel like it's a really, you know, powerful turbo. You don't really feel a lot of boost or anything. And maybe that's just in my mind because I'm thinking turbo, you should hear it. You can't really hear that it's turbo. Like I said, I didn't know it was turbo just from driving it. I realized it was turbo when I started reading about it. But of course, I'm used to turbo in my 02 7.3 liter diesel F350. So, you know, which of course I got a wicked wheel and also cut the muffler off. So I'm thinking, but even stock, you know, of course it has a louder turbo. But so this car, it feels, you know, it doesn't feel as sluggish. It's not as sluggish as at first I thought. Of course, when I was driving in eco mode, it does have decent get up. As a matter of fact, it picks up. It picks up okay. Put your foot on the gas as far as acceleration. I think it does lack a little more in top end, like if you're already moving and you want to pass somebody. But even that's not too bad either. One thing that I wish it had, since there's a manual mode that you can click the shift lever over and shift manually, you have to push up or back on the shift knob. This car, if a car has that feature for the automatic, there should be paddle shifters. That's just my opinion. Now, of course, I know probably practically every car wouldn't, because every car is not gonna be, I guess, for that purpose of to be that sporty. But you know, I just think it should. And back to the ride of the vehicle, it's something about it, like it feels a little squirrely, like when your little inputs from the steering wheel make it, you know, a little, that feeling like you're going over a steel grate, even though you might not be going over a steel grate. Maybe because I'm used to driving vehicles with wider tires, you know. These tires are, of course, going to be skinnier than that on my Mustang, or of course, driving a dually pickup truck. I think a lot of it is me adjusting, even with the acceleration and the power, is me not being used to driving 4-cylinder vehicles. I mean, of course, my first car was a Honda 89 Honda Accord, so you know, that was a 4-cylinder, but I haven't really driven 4-cylinder vehicles regularly for quite a while. I'm used to driving a Mustang, you know, 4.6 liter V8, or I'm used to driving my truck, 7.3 liter V8 diesel. And there's also, if I'm not driving a V8, or one of my cars, most other cars that I drive are at least 6 cylinders. So, you know, last time I think I drove a 4-cylinder car was I rented a Mustang, and that of course had the EcoBoost, the 4-liter EcoBoost. So of course, even that felt like it had more pep to it. But I'm gonna try to get us some highway here in just a minute, but looks like there's a little bit of traffic on the way to the highway, so I'll rejoin you when I get back on the highway. Okay, so we just about back to the highway now, and so we're gonna get a chance to try to get some highway riding on tape. I probably shouldn't be going in this direction just based on what time of day it is. Everybody is just about getting off work now, but we're going off this on-off ramp for the interstate. Kind of get a feel of how the car handles, in a curve. It's not too bad. I think I'm still in eco there, so it's pulling okay. Like I was saying before, I think the reason I didn't even realize it was turbo is because I'm used to driving a truck that has a big loud turbo. So if I don't see a boost gauge anywhere on the dash or an instrument cluster or any type of monitoring, that's actually how I realized that the Mustang that I was driving was an EcoBoost, because I saw, oh yes, bad traffic, bad traffic, bad traffic. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take this exit. Should have took the second one though, so I could just turn around and get back on the highway in the other direction. But yeah, that's how I figured out that the Mustang was an EcoBoost, because I wasn't paying attention to the fact that that model year they had already done away with the 6 cylinders, so there were only the 4 cylinders. But now with the start stop, see, every time we come up to a traffic light or stop sign, well, not every time, but most of the time, if you can hear it, the engine cuts off to conserve fuel. Now of course that's debatable. Well, how much fuel does that actually save you? How practical is that actually? I'm just looking at it in terms of, it's fine for me if I'm renting the car, but my concern would be long term. Am I going to wear out a starter prematurely? I've seen the studies, of course, of how much fuel do you actually save. As a matter of fact, what is that guy's YouTube channel? Engineering Explained, I think. I'm gonna find his video and I'm gonna put a link to it in the description, or maybe a card or something, because he does like a study. He does all the calculations on what do you actually save fuel-wise having a start-stop engine, or having a start-stop feature on a car. So yeah, I think I'll put that in there for you guys, so y'all can take a look at that if you want. The other thing is, it's pretty seamless. This car is pretty good, I think, as far as how long does it take for you to for the engine to come back on when you take your foot off the brake pedal. And definitely, of course, well, all of them really, that have the feature, the engine is back running before you, before your foot makes it back to the gas pedal from the brake pedal. This one is pretty quick because it works pretty well, because it kind of goes as soon as you as soon as the pressure from your foot starts to come off of the brake pedal, it's starting back up. So yeah, I can tell even if I don't take my foot all the way off the pedal, if I take my foot off if I don't take it all the way off of the pedal, if I just release the pressure off the pedal a little bit, it does come back on. So, but that's how they're supposed to work. So it's pretty seamless. I think the best as far as how fast the engine gets running, I've driven 3 cars now, I think, with this technology. The first was a Ford, I think a 2017 Ford F-150, and then I think Audi Q7 as well. I forget whether that was a 17 or an 18. But out of the 3, I think the F-150 was probably the fastest. Jeez, we got traffic going this way too. Come on, man. But the F-150, I think, was the quickest because, like, as soon as that pressure came off the brake pedal, the engine was running again. Even with this car is pretty good, I say as well. But the F-150 was definitely the fastest because even with this car, it's almost like you can feel a little delay by the time your foot hits the gas pedal. It still feels like a little delay because the engine is still cranking back up. So there's a little delay with the car actually starting to move even after you put your foot on the gas pedal. With that F-150, it was, it was already running like way before your foot. It had already cranked up and it was ready to go before your foot even got to the gas pedal. Unless you tried to beat it, I never did. But you probably have to try really hard to get your foot on the gas pedal first before the engine cranked up. But yeah, these things, they do pretty good. Okay, so now I think I got a decent stretch of highway where I won't run into some traffic, where I can actually do something here. Although I have to be careful because I am in a very state trooper populated stretch of the interstate. So we'll try to get a little acceleration here, but at the same time not getting pulled over. State police. Let's turn equal. There's a little bit of a pull, and I'm up to 80 miles per hour, so I'm gonna back out of it now. All in all, it's a nice little car. I don't know if I would buy one of these, but maybe I would. If this was the type of car that I was in the market for, I would definitely consider one. Now, a lot of people complain, at least some of the mechanics I know, they complain about Volkswagens as far as working on them. So I don't know for that reason would I want one, because what I want to have to deal with trying to work on it. But that's always the thing. If you got somebody who specializes in it, then it's probably not a big deal. But I think I would give this car, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it probably like a 7, 7.5. I like it okay. It looks good. Very nice styling. And let me get my phone out of the way of the camera. Yeah, so again, overall, I think it's a pretty nice car. Would I buy one? Maybe, if this was the type of car that I was in the market for. I might buy one. I do know, I've heard complaints complaints about Volkswagens, and there's that little squirreliness that I was talking about earlier in the handling. It just feels like it's moving. I don't know if that's visible on the camera, but it's just like going like this, and I'm not even really doing anything input wise to the steering. But as I get ready to run up into traffic again, if I had to be concerned with working on this car or finding someone to work on it, I have heard complaints about Volkswagens, but that's all one of my mechanic friends had a complaint about it. He doesn't really like Volkswagens as far as working on them. But at the same time, if you know a mechanic, a good mechanic that specializes in these cars, works on them regularly, it's probably not a big deal. And as long as they're a good mechanic and they're not charging you a lot of money to do the work, or maybe you yourself are a mechanic and you know how to work on them, then you're good to go. But yeah, overall, I like the car. It's very nice looking. Styling is, I give the styling on it a 9 actually. Performance wise, 147 miles per hour is, I guess it's decent for this type of car. I'm the type of person I would probably prefer a little more power, but for this car's purposes, it's just fine, and it doesn't feel like as long as you're not in eco mode, it doesn't feel slow or sluggish or anything like that when it comes to acceleration. So it's not bad. It's a pretty nice car. I like it. But I think I'm going to end the video here. I think I'm kind of running out of stuff to say. But hey, if you watch the video all the way through, thanks again. I appreciate the views. Again, comment. What do you think about this car? Do you own one? Would you own one? Do you want to own one? Put that information in the comments so we can start us a little discussion about it. And also, what else would you like to see me review? I try to get a wide variety of cars on the channel, not just cars, of course. We got motorcycle videos and all that kind of stuff. But anything you'd like to see me review, just let me know. Put it in the comment section. I'll talk to y'all later.